So I'm going to cut right to the chase. You know I'm a straight shooter. I wanted to discuss the situation with the arrivals because, as you know, we've been keeping a close eye on the crime that is taking place in the Gambia as of late, and this most recent situation really drives home some trends that are beginning to emerge from the small West African nation. Now, the couple, the arrivals, recently were robbed while they were out and about. Their home was completely rubbished. Apparently, the robbers took laptops, computers, things that the couple used to make YouTube videos, and jewelry and other things that can't be replaced. So, of course, my thoughts go out to them. I hope they're doing better, and I do understand how shaken up they must be over this happening.
Hello my viewers, this is your boy Golden Boy, and I'm really grateful again you clicked on this video. So we want to talk about this lady who recently was complaining about how the Gambians are trying to steal from the Black Americans, and she has a lot of things to say in this video. So I just want you to listen very carefully. Then I will just come here and I'll be trying to give you what was my thought.
I mean, just imagine a couple that's trying to go to Africa to do something good, and they seem to be really fitting in with their host community. People seem to love them. They're always doing things to help people out, and to see this happen is just so discouraging. And I think there are some important points that we can all take from this situation, and that folks who are in Gambia or who are thinking of going to Gambia need to be aware of. So after watching all of the videos and watching them multiple times, here is my honest assessment. The criminal element in Gambia is sending Black Americans a message. And that message is, you are not wanted here. That's the message. The robberies, the phone snatching, the hassles in regards to land, the double talk, all of that is really just a symptom of a larger issue, which is that Black Americans are not particularly welcome in the Gambia. Now, do all Gambians feel this way? Of course not. I'm sure there are many Gambians who have open arms and open hearts, but those who ignore this criminal element do so at their own peril, because what's happening is this criminal element is picking off diasporans one by one. And the more naive you are, the better for them, because you never see them coming. Now, we know there's a criminal element, but here's what you might not know. There is a growing underbelly that is specifically coming together in Gambia to wage war on the Black Americans that are coming there. The Black Americans are being seen as foreigners that are looking to usurp and take land that doesn't belong to them, that are looking to get land for free or on the cheap, land that has been denied to local Gambians who don't have the money. And people are really underestimating the resentment and the anger that locals feel when they see you coming from abroad buying up land that belonged to their grandma, buying up land that belonged to their auntie, buying up land that belonged to their great-great-grandfather. Here's the bottom line. They don't think you deserve it. Yes, that's the truth. They don't think you deserve it. And therefore, they are making sure that they do everything possible to make you feel unwelcome and unsafe. And I would say right now, They are 1-0. If this were a football game, they'd be many yards touchdowning, as opposed to Black Americans, because Black Americans have refused to be honest about this criminal element. And it is making couples like the Arrival and others very vulnerable. Now let's talk a little bit more about why it would benefit the criminal element to target Black Americans. Number one, it's an easy target. In any country, whenever you want to look at a target, you always look at the foreigner. You always look at the person who's not like you. And as much as Black Americans want to believe that skin color is the end all be all, I have to tell you that is not the case at all. There are many tribes in Gambia alone. And off the top of my head, we can think of the Wolof, we can think of the Mandinka, we can think of the Fulbe or the Fulani, and so many more. So in this instance, your black skin does not make you their brother. If they don't see the Mandinka man who has been living there for hundreds and thousands of years as their brother, why would they see you, Johnny Bluebank from America, as their brother? Just ask yourself, does that make sense? If they don't see the person right next to them, the Fulani, the Mandinka, if they are not their brother, why would you be their brother? You know why you're their brother? Temporarily, and I say this, temporarily you're their brother because of money. Yes, they want your money. They want your green. They want your cash. And so as long as you're greasing their palms, yes, they will call you my brother, my brother. But when you're not greasing their palms, you're no more a brother to them than the Chinese or the European. So, what is the solution here? I'm so glad you asked. The solution here is that Black Americans must begin to move as an independent tribe. We have to respect the tribal territories that are in effect in Gambia. We have to first learn them. You have to learn what areas do the Fulani live, what areas do the Mandinka live, what areas are groups most prevalent, and then you have to go in as a tribe. So for example, if there are, say 50 to 100 Black Americans that are in Gambia, you all need to come together and designate one specific person to act as the spokesman or the chief. And you need to go in and say, hey, we want to talk with the chief of the Fulanis. We want to talk with the chief of the Mandinka. And you know what we want to do when we get there? Not my brother, we want to negotiate. We want to negotiate the amount of land that can be allotted to Black Americans. We want to negotiate the amount of business licenses that can go to Black Americans. Right now, Black Americans are all operating on this independent sphere, and that in itself is very symptomatic of the American way of thinking. Everyone is out to do it for him or herself. Everyone's trying to get their own business going. But guys, let me tell you the truth. You are not going to make it in Gambia alone. You're going to this country that you know nothing about. You're moving way out into farmland. And by the way, if you weren't a farmer in America, you're not going to be a very good farmer in Gambia. So that's the first mistake. Everybody can't be a farmer. You all need to start coming together in city areas and building up urban communities. Once you've been in the Gambia for 50, 75, 100 years, and you've established yourself in the community, and you've intermarried, and you've mixed blood, then you can start branching off into the wild, wild west. But as it stands now, Black Americans, you are your own tribe in Gambia, and it would behoove you to start acting like it.
So first of all, you need to know that when you are in Africa, there is something that has always happened, that the way she was saying that when you, as a Black American, you come to Africa, you buy land, but you know that very well that those lands, when you are buying them at a fluctuating rates. And because of that, the Gambians feel that when you are buying that land at a cheaper price, and they feel that you are stealing from them. So they have come with the ability that they try to steal from the Black Americans. And I'm not again saying that thief stealing is only happening to the Black American, but also stealing is also happening to the fellow Africans. So these are some of the thoughts that I found in this video. So this woman is not telling the truth. First and foremost, there are two types of land uses sales in Africa. You have a customary land and you have a state-owned land, and the only countries on the countries of Africa that has three types of land sales are Kenya and Uganda. Secondly, in order to buy land in Africa, any type of foreigner, you have to have a business set up where the land will go up under the business until you become a citizen. So you can't just go to Africa and just buy land. The land is either going to be a state-owned land, meaning that it is owned by the government, or it is going to be customary land, which the tribal chief have to get permission from all the tribe members, the herdsmen, all the councils. Is a process in buying customary land. And I'm telling you, from someone who owns land, and have business in Africa. So if there are lands that are being bought that belongs to the family members, this is being done by the family. This is being done by the tribal chief, and they are actually the ones who are doing the fraud and selling the land from their own people without having the legal right to do so. You have to go through a process when you are buying customary land. If they are buying stay on land, this is land that the government owns. So if the government owns the land, then they can sell it to whoever they want when they want. This is the difference of knowing things that are correct and believing in things that are incorrect. So this is why anybody from the diaspora that moves the Africa, the first thing you need to do is start your self-business or an NGO, religious organization, and you then find land that you are interested in. When you finally that you are interested in, make sure the land is state-owned. And I will not recommend buying any customary land. Is a lot of procedures that goes with that, and at the end of the day, the tribal chiefs have right to remove you from the land. This like they have done their own people in the past. So this is false information, and people need to hire law firms that deal with the process of selling land and buying land and having them represent you and all of your legal matters. So even when it comes to starting a business and putting your business together, go and talk to a professional law firm that are very good reviews with dealing with lands, with foreigners, dealing with their own people when it comes to anything that you do anywhere in the world. You should always have a legal representation. When you are having a legal representation of these things, you are going to find out that you're going to find out that the Ministry of Lands, they are going to see who owns the land. If there is other names on the titles, and they're going to look and see if there are any lands on land, any loans that were taken out to banks, as a surveyor is going to go out and survey the land so that the boundaries are noted on the survey. And if there were anybody's buried on land, if anybody buries their loved ones on the land, all these things will be searched out throughout, so that what she's talking about is a bunch of nonsense, because this is stuff that are being done by those who live in Gambia and those who come from the diaspora, who are actually probably doing some types of illegal land transactions. But the majority of African Americans from the diaspora and those from the diaspora are intelligent enough to know that the best way to go to Africa and buying land is by following the procedures. They are procedures that are put in place so that you don't have to go through all these types of problems and issues. This is a recurring theme because there is agenda to keep the Africans and diaspora from coming to the continent, and this agenda is by the West colonies. And unfortunately, you have a lot of melanated people on both sides, those from the diaspora and those from Africa. So when we try to promote this propaganda and lies to discourage the diaspora from going back, they don't want melanated people to unify. They want to keep us divided and separated. That's why you should always do your research. Stop listening to YouTubers or YouTube people because they lie. Do your research. I just listened to this, and there's a severe videos that people are coming out that with I and a lot for certain that the majority of the stuff they are saying is lies. There's rumors that other people are saying that they really have no merit. You have to actually do the research yourself. Stop listening to gossip. This is the problem with the melanated people and worldwide. So you listen to gossip instead of doing your own research or doing your work. Do the homework, do the research. Stop listening to gossip because most of the stuffs they are saying is not true, and the things that are happening because you are crooked people in those countries and crooked people from the diaspora. I know what is going on in Gambia because the West have already sent their agents ahead of everybody else or among everybody else to stir up problems so that it will be a division between our brothers and sisters on the continent and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. So stop falling for the bullcrap. This is why they have always been on top. This is why they have always had divided between we listening to garbage without facts. We believe gossip without facts. We are not people who actually research and do studies. We are people who hear YouTube channels preaching false gossips, and you go and you spread it like a wildfire, and information is being false. So I prefer you that you do your intelligent research. You all know that there is a problem, there is a serious problem, there is a serious issues in Africa when it comes to land allocation, especially to the native Gambians and Africans in the diaspora. So I want to say that there is a lot of things that you need to know, that the Gambia is a small country that can only gather for limited numbers of diaspora people. And actually the capitalism purchasing power is creating poor native people from Gambia in diaspora to buy lands. So our own citizens are facing hard time trying to retain their rights to inherit from their parents. There are many states in Africa where some diaspora communities can be established. This involves in the discussions on a larger scale, can be solved by special under the African Union for Settlement of Diaspora. So the pivot is that there is a lot of places that you can visit instead of going to Gambia, because right now they're trying to create a division among the Gambians, or among the Africans and the diasporas. So you need to do your diligent research before moving to a certain country, because if you don't do your certain research, you'll find yourself listening to the gossips from YouTubers who will mislead you, and you will be discouraged from coming to Africa. So that's all I had for this video, and I'm really grateful that first of all, before I even end this, have you noticed that she's saying that the black Americans, the word black Americans is only used to differentiate between African Americans and black Americans. Most people who term themselves black American, they subscribe to being Apocryphs, meaning they are the original people of the Americans, or the European. They are said to be the bloodline of the original people, and they are not Africans. That's why they use the word black Americans. So we are not Black Americans, they have their own DNA done. You come strictly from this Bisa tribe in Burkina Faso. So this is someone who was trying to say that his history has passed down the information from the generation to generation. So I don't want to get you bored in this video. I just want to say that before you start listening to these YouTubers, before you start doing this, kindly do your diligent research, do your proper research before buying land to the African nations. You also have to know that there are two types of land in Africa. There's a customary land and there's a state-owned land. So when you come to Africa, you first have to have your own business created in Africa, like the NGOs, the way I was saying. Then you come up with how you can buy a state-owned land. Don't buy a customary land because it has a lot of problems. It has a lot of problems which can land you to problems because a chief for community can decide that they are coming to take that land, and there's nothing you can do because custom land is usually passed from generation to generation. Like the sons and the daughters usually inherit that land. So I don't want to waste your data and time. So I'm really grateful that you clicked on this video again, and let me see you in another episode. My name is Golden Boy, and see you in another episode.